Crystal Lake.
Are you nervous about President? What are you expecting today? You look great.
You look great.
I love the fit. Not too serious.
For Cudi. Pull out for Cudi. Do something they got.
Hey guys, so I just want to say, man, I've been seeing all the love and support, and I just want to say thank you so much, man. People have been hitting me up the past week, just checking in, and even today, and it really means a lot to me, man. You guys are the best. I love y'all. This is a stressful situation. I'm glad it's behind me, and yeah, I love y'all, man. Big love. Go stream Neverland.
So day 9 of Sean Puppy Combs' trial, we have Kid Cudi on the stand. Y'all know Kid Cudi, the one that cross-dresses at times. You know, he was popping around 2009, 10, 11, all that kind of stuff. You know, he had a lot of that weird music. Yeah, well, Cassie had a relationship with him, and they was messing around, and he was alleging that Diddy blew up his car, he broke into his home, he startled his dog, knocked his dog in, in the bathroom. There was a whole bunch of stuff that him and, that he spoke about Diddy, and with him and Diddy, what he had to go through with Diddy while he was messing with Cassie, because Diddy was running down on anybody that he thought Cassie was messing with. Now, we know the guy, Mr. Catlin, who was Diddy's former assistant, he testified to a lot of some freaky things that was going on inside the home, right? So right now, what I'm seeing, I guess they're trying to create the racketeering charge with something in regards to Kid Cudi and Cassie's mother with $20,000 extortion. So they're trying to put together a case. But I don't know, man. He's guilty to me of assault and abuse. I don't know about all the other things they're trying to put on him. But let's look at what the news is reporting after Kid Cudi was on the stand. Check it out.
Rapper Kid Cudi is now on the stand in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking and racketeering trial. He reportedly had a brief relationship with Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura nearly 15 years ago. His testimony follows George Kaplan, a former employee of Combs who was granted immunity in exchange for his testimony. He told jurors about the elaborate process of setting up hotel rooms for what prosecutors allege were drug-fueled sex parties called freak-offs. Combs denies all of the allegations against him and says all sexual encounters were consensual. Let's bring in ABC's Rena Roy alongside contributor and criminal defense attorney Bernarda Villalona.
Well, Alex, we saw Kid Cudi walk into the courthouse this morning with a bit of swagger, black leather jacket, wearing jeans, smoking a cigarette. As you said, he is now on the stand now, and he's already talking about some of the threats that he says he faced while he was in a relationship with Cassie Ventura back in 2011, including one time that he says Cassie called to alert him that Sean Combs had broken into his Los Angeles home. He says that he raced over there to try and confront Combs, so that when he got there, Combs was gone. He said some things had been tampered with. His dog seemed startled. He was locked in the bathroom. So he called police to file a break-in report. And he's also talking about a time from January of 2012 when he says his car was set on fire with a Molotov cocktail in his Los Angeles driveway. Just last week, Ventura testified that Sean Combs had threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car because he had found out about their relationship together. But his lawyers have denied that he had any involvement in any arson. But remember that arson is a part of the racketeering charge that he's facing. So this is crucial testimony for jurors to hear.
And Bernarda, how is the prosecution hoping Kid Cudi's testimony might help them prove that the sex trafficking and racketeering charges are appropriate?
So Kid Cudi's testimony specifically goes to the racketeering conspiracy. It doesn't go to the sex trafficking or to the transportation for the purpose of engaging prostitution charges. In regards to the racketeering conspiracy, you have to prove at least 2 predicate acts. And one of those predicate acts that the prosecution are trying to prove is that of arson for blowing up the car of Kid Cudi. So that is his main purpose in testifying. But also he's giving context as to Sean Combs, his demeanor, his jealousy, his violent nature, and what he was willing to do to try to separate Cassie from Kid Cudi, which ultimately ended up with ending that relationship while brief it was.
So while you have reporters, you have lawyers, you have all kinds of people from all over the country inside the courtroom. And they're giving the play-by-play on what's going on because in New York federal court, you can't, they don't air it for the public. So people are outside, people are lawyers, and people are inside the courtroom, and they're witnessing this in real time. So you have a reporter. She's now giving us from Law and Crime. She's giving us the play-by-play on Kid Cudi's demeanor while he was on the stand, right? You know how he was giving one-word answers, and let's look into what she was saying. How Kid Cudi testified on the stand. Check it out.
Let me just say, Jesse, there was so much testimony. I was just writing things down and down and down again because there was really so much. And we knew about...
people were laughing, right? People were laughing when he was testifying because he made that one comment that he sees Sean Combs. He had a meeting with him and said he looked like a Marvel supervillain. Were people laughing?
No. Yes, people were laughing, but if you're going to ask if Diddy was laughing, it didn't seem like he found that joke necessarily funny, but there was definitely some courtroom laughter, even from some of the jurors who were in the box. They were laughing as well, too. But Kid Cudi at the time said he didn't think that Cassie was even dealing with Diddy at this point. Diddy had asked, actually, for Kid Cudi's address around this time, and one of the big moments was that Cassie was the one who actually gave Diddy Kid Cudi's address. And so Kid Cudi said he didn't know what Diddy was going to do. Then when he was at the hotel, he actually got a call, or he had spoken to Capricorn Clark, somebody that was Cassie's friend, but also somebody that had worked for Diddy. Capricorn sounded scared on this phone call, pretty much on the verge of tears, because it was Diddy, one of his affiliates, an unnamed person, and Capricorn Clark were at Kid Cudi's home. Kid Cudi was kind of describing that essentially Capricorn Clark was essentially taken by physical force to go with them to Kid Cudi's home while Kid Cudi wasn't even there. Actually called Diddy while he was driving home, and there was some profanity here, so bear with me, everyone. He said, "Mother effer, are you in my house?" And Diddy said, "I just want to talk to you. I'm here waiting for you." And surprisingly, Kid Cudi explained that Diddy sounded relatively calm while he was on the phone speaking to him. So Kid Cudi thought his security cameras were working, and turns out, he said someone kind of had moved them and angled them a little bit down, so that way, I guess, got back into his car, he says, and called Diddy because he wanted to fight Diddy. He wanted to square up, essentially, and just find him and fight him because he believed that Diddy broke into his home. We saw a lot of exhibit photos from that Molotov cocktail being inside, or not being inside that car, but we saw the aftermath of the Molotov cocktail in the car. So we saw an exhibit photo of the damaged car. You could see a cut at the top of the roof from the Molotov cocktail. The roof was blown out. It was just the aftermath of it. There was this whole meeting at Soho House where essentially Diddy and Kid Cudi shook hands. Kid Cudi said that he didn't necessarily believe Diddy when Diddy had said, Kid Cudi had said something along the lines of, "What are we going to do about my car?" And Diddy said to Kid Cudi, "I don't know what you're talking about." But as we ended the redirect, because there was some cross-examination in between that essentially Kid Cudi believed Diddy was lying about this because, there were some objections thrown here and there, but he kind of snuck in there that he believed that Diddy was a violent person and was the reason behind this Molotov cocktail in his car.
So there's just a whole lot of freaky deaky stuff going on. You got freaky Diddy, you got, crazy Cassie. She just running around through the industry, just getting ran through by everybody, right? All this stuff is coming out. Then you got the cross-dresser, Kid Cudi. So, this is just a bunch of weirdo stuff all just going on at the same time, right? And I told y'all that Cassie wasn't innocent in all this, right? Because Diddy is crazy, right? Running wild. Cassie is running wild through the industry. This guy gets his car blown up while he's in the dress doing a concert probably somewhere, right? So inside the court, AUSA says, "Who else did you speak with?" Cudi said Capricorn Clark. She sounded near tears. What did she say? That Sean Combs in the car near my house. Combs Brian still objection. Judge overruled, right? But the security cameras had been removed. Did you move them? No. Oh crap! So now they can't prove. That he was in the home. So now listen to that. Why is the security cameras not there? What did you see inside your home? Gifts were open. Some stuff I got from Chanel, and my dog was locked in the bathroom. Right? I got back in and called Sean Combs again. I was looking for him. I wanted to fight him. You know, did he answer? Yeah, he did. I'm on my way. I thought to myself, still objection, judge grounds, no responsive, overruled, right? So like I said, you had a whole bunch of just goofiness going on, right? Then one of Combs' trusted employee, Capricorn Clark, called Mr. Cudi, Miss Cudi, to tell him that she was outside his house and that Combs was inside. Miss Cudi testified. Clark told Miss Cudi that Combs had forced her physically to drive there with him. Miss Cudi said, right? Now, mind you, now she's saying all this, but at the same time, they don't have no proof of this. They don't have any proof of this because he's saying that the security cameras was turned off so Brian Steele could eat this alive because this woman is disgruntled with Puffy now, mind you, because she's saying that he physically forced her and she was afraid for her life. So now we don't know if her and Puffy had a falling out, her and Diddy had a falling out. But the key component here is they don't have the security footage to prove that this happened. This could be just hearsay. So they have a racketeering charge against Puffy from at least or about 2008 through or about the date of this filing of this indictment, the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka Diddy, aka Love, the defendants and others known and unknown, being persons employed by and associated with the Combs enterprise described in paragraphs 6 through 12 of this indictment, an enterprise engaged in the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly combined, conspired, confederated, and agreed together with each other to violate the racketeering laws. Well, who else is there? So this thing is saying multiple people, but they just got Combs on this thing. You don't see a plethora of other people, right? So this is where to me it gets real goofy, right? Then you come down racketeering, particularly as defined within the Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, involves a pattern of criminal activity often associated with organized crime to gain influence over legitimate businesses or to collect unlawful debts. It's not a single criminal act itself, but rather a way of prosecuting a series of related crimes to disrupt criminal organizations and their activities, right? Key aspects of racketeering. Pattern of activity. Racketeering involves a series of at least 2 related criminal acts within a specific time frame, typically 10 years. So they're really coming after him. And they trying to drop it, man. They trying to drop it, man. This thing is crazy, but I just don't understand how he's the only one in the RICO. So he did all of this himself. He didn't have no assistance. He didn't have any help. It doesn't add up to me. It just doesn't add up to me. So I don't know. It doesn't seem right. What I'm gathering here is he's guilty of a lot of things, but not a RICO, not trafficking, and all these other things that they're trying to put on him. They're trying to throw together a case. They don't have no proof. They don't have any proof that he was ever at Kid Cudi's house. They don't have no proof that he blew up Kid Cudi's car. Now, I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm not saying that he's guilty of it. What I'm saying is in the court of law, there's no proof there. I'm trying to see how they're putting together a RICO and trafficking and all these different things. What I'm seeing is a crazy, abusive guy dealing with a girl that's a hoe, right? Jumping from bed to bed, and a rapper. All had confrontation. They had issues. That's what I'm seeing. I don't see organized crime. But this was day 9 with Kid Cudi on the stand, right? And I think that he should be in jail for assault and maybe a plethora of other things. But these other criminal acts where they're trying to put him away from life, it's just not there yet. I don't see it. It hasn't been proven. But let me know what you guys think about this. Leave your comments in the comment section. And this is the thing. You cannot like Diddy. I don't like Diddy. But in court, everybody should have a just and fair aspect trial. And right now, what I'm noticing in the trial, I see guilt to certain things, but not guilt to what the feds is trying to do. All right? So again, leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to Street Media TV. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.